There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation, and we'll also observe the moment of silence in honor of the late King Goodwill Zwelithini. May we be seated. Statements by members. Are there any member statements? Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the ANC to make a member statement. Noting the progress the province is making in rebuilding the economy, which has been heavily ravaged by the 2019 COVID pandemic, the ANC wished to place serious emphasis to the economic recovery plan of the province to take critical note and integrate the informal sector of the economy, which is more labor intensive. It also accounts for 6.8% of provincial GDP, and its total share of employment is 25%. With our new MEC, who is hitting the ground running, the ANC is calling on the department to pay special attention to the plight of the informal sector of the economy, as it also constitutes part of the SMMEs in the province. Key to this drive to revive the sector is to ensure cooperatives, which also consume many destitute citizens in economic activities, are integrated in recovery plan of the province. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I will now call upon MEC Mkhatshwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My greetings to your good self and the leader of government business. Greetings to the Chief Whip of the Majority Party and the Deputy Chief Whip. I forgot to greet the Deputy Speaker as well, and all members of the Provincial Legislature. Honorable Speaker, we kindly welcome the view that has been raised by the African National Congress in ensuring that as part of the Mpumalanga Reconstruction and Recovery Plan, we ensure that the informal sector of our economy is not left behind. That we will take into cognizance as we are about to embark on a massive consultations with all stakeholders and role players in our economy. We will definitely make sure that the informal sector is prioritized. Thank you.
Honorable Morgan.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to the House. I rise to deliver a statement on behalf of the Democratic Alliance Honorable Speaker, it has come to my attention that the situation at the Mteto Musha Game Reserve reflects a state of lawlessness. Mteto Musha is a provincial game reserve governed under MTPA. And over the past couple of months, this game reserve has come under attack by poachers and community members. As well as in each of these attacks, it is very scary that the police never respond. When they respond hours later, and when they do respond, they stand back and watch as the attacks happen. On the 29th of January 2021, the lodge manager called Colonel Magato from Pinar Precinct at 27 minutes past 9, after MTPA ranger reported that they were being attacked by armed men. The police only responded at 10 to 12. Honorable Speaker, these people could have been murdered waiting for the police to arrive. On the 31st of January, the lodge was attacked once again, and in this instant, the lodge was burned. The situation at the game reserve now is such that the fences are broken, and it is extremely unsafe for the people at the lodge as poachers are making their way onto the property. Gunshots are being heard regularly at night as well. Given the above, will the MEC of Economic Development and Tourism explain if he knows of this situation? And secondly, can he ensure that MTPA secures the boundary of the property through his oversight? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I will give the Honorable MEC Mkachwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The matter has been brought to the attention through MTPA. We assist with it, Honorable Speaker. The safety in our game reserves becomes a priority, as it goes without saying that to a certain extent, it also affects the tourism sector in terms of safety of our tourists. So it's a matter that is receiving attention, and it is high on our agenda. As soon as possible, plans will be announced on how we are going to support all our game reserves in terms of making sure that the fences are rebuilt and all that. So it's a matter that we are dealing with, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable Weber. Honorable Mkabela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the EFF is disappointed and disgusted about the conduct of the school principals who are using their power to ill-treat the assistant teachers at schools. Honorable Speaker, some of these assistant teachers have not received their full stipend as stipulated in their contracts since from the beginning of this project, whereas some have been told that their stipend will be deducted by 1,700 Rand at the end of this month. As the EFF would like to urge the MEC of the department to investigate this criminal act by those principals and find a way of dealing with it as a matter of urgency. I thank you.
I will now call upon the Honorable MEC Machuba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to all honorable members. Let's appreciate the statement given by Honorable Mkachwa. We are also concerned if there is something like that. Definitely we are going to investigate it and make sure that it is corrected if there is such a thing. Thank you very much.
Is there any statement? Motions without notice. Are there any motions without notice? Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion without notice for this House to pass our sincere and heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims of tropical cyclone Elios, which took place in our different areas around Mpumalanga province recently. Noting that our people have died from heavy rains that destroyed buildings, roads, bridges, and cars in the province. Most of the fatalities were attributable to drowning as a result of the flooded rivers. Further noting that a number of bridges that connected to villages were also washed away in Komazi, City of Mbombela, Bushbuck Ridge, Tabachewu, and Sugalika municipalities. Our people should avoid driving through flooded areas, especially when it rains heavily. Honorable Speaker, I move that this House pass our sincere condolences to the families, friends, and colleagues of those who perished during this flood and call for all our people who are staying in low-lying areas or next to rivers to be extra careful during rainy season. Honorable Speaker, I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to? As so agreed. Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the EFF condemns in the strongest terms the killing of a bystander by the police at the student uprising in Wits University, wherein the students are fighting for free education, which the ANC government promised our people. We call upon the government to prioritize funding for education, as we can no longer afford to see our children fighting for the basic rights of education. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to? As so agreed. Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This motion without notice serves to commend the Department of Health under the stewardship of MEC Manzini for the steering work in the fight against the deadly coronavirus, noting that the safety regulations imposed by the National Coronavirus Command Council were strictly observed. It is now evident that such strict measures have yielded positive results, indicating that the province recovery rate is at 97%, higher than the national, which is at 94.7%. Further noting that, Honorable Speaker, the death rate from COVID-19 related illness is at 1.3%, while the country is at 3.3%. Mpumalanga province is the third lowest in death rate, following the Northwest and Northern Cape. I therefore move that we hold hands together and fight for the common goal in winning the war against the virus. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to? The motion is defeated. Honorable Sitole.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to deliver a motion without notice on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, noting, Honorable Speaker, that the DA in Mpumalanga is extremely proud of the work done by the DA-run municipalities across the country. Honorable Speaker, as Professor Salim Abdul Karim said, and I quote, the country learned from the Western Cape when it comes to managing the coronavirus. Further noting, Honorable Speaker, that despite COVID-19 challenges, DA-run governments are leading in job creation. Stats SA quarterly labor force survey, which was released in February 2021, showed an increase of 121,000 jobs, the highest increase in all provinces. The Western Cape continued to have the lowest expanded unemployment rate in South Africa. Honorable Speaker, if you think education is expensive, try estimating the cost of ignorance. It is arrogance that often prevents us from learning. I therefore move that this House acknowledge that Mpumalanga is riddled with weak leadership whose arrogance is preventing them from learning anything. Commend the Western Cape for leading in real economic recovery, job creation, and all other sectors of government. And lastly, that this House agree that we send the Premier, bless her soul because she's not there, and her executive to the Western Cape for a study tour to learn. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to? The motion is defeated. Is there any motion? Honorable Weber.
Madam Speaker, I rise on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus to offer our deepest condolences to the Zulu nation on the passing of their king and their leader, King Goodwin Zwelithini. On a personal level, he was my friend for more than 25 years, so much so that I was even invited as a special guest when he celebrated his 70th birthday. I move that this House joins me in offering our condolences to the Zulu nation in the passing of their king and a great leader, King Goodwill Zwelithini. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to? Agreed. As so agreed. Notices of motion. Are there notices of motion? On formal motions, I'm informed that there are no formal motion. We now proceed with the orders of the day. Orders of the day. The Secretary shall read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, questions for oral reply to the members of the Executive Council.
I have a question paper in front of me with questions for oral reply to members of the Executive Council. I am informed that the question paper was duly circulated to all members of the legislature. We will now proceed to questions for oral reply as they appear on the question paper. I will now call upon the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport, Honorable Lachminareng.
Good morning, Honourable Speaker, as well as greetings to the Honourable Deputy Speaker, my colleagues in the Executive Council, Honourable Members, and all Honourable Members as well present here today, staff. In respect of the question raised by Honourable J.J. Skosana from the ANC to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. Roads make a crucial contribution to economic development and growth and bring important social benefits. They are also of vital importance in order to make a nation grow and develop, and further providing access to social and economic amenities. The recent heavy downfalls and thunderstorms have destroyed most road infrastructure around Mbombela, Bushbuck Ridge, etc. Bridges have collapsed and have resulted in divisive implications for communities. Most of these roads are municipal roads. Question 1. In terms of the above, can the MEC shed some light on the role of the provincial government in municipal roads? And our response as a department is the development, management and maintenance of municipal roads is a competency of the local government according to the Constitution. However, the Mpumalanga provincial government annually supports some of these municipalities through the Municipal Support Program with maintenance of some key access roads. This support is very limited because the needs of the provincial road network far outweigh the allocated annual budget. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Skosana, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. The MEC has covered me on this question, but the serious concern that I have as a person who brought the question is the quality of bridges that we're building. We need to change the style and change the material that we use so that we cannot have a bridge which is fallen almost every year. Thank you very much.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thanks for the response as well from Honourable Deputy Speaker. I think as a department I must give assurance as well that we are also concerned in respect of the deterioration of our bridges as well as all infrastructure across the province. As a department we want to ensure the Honourable Deputy Speaker that we are taking into consideration the contracts, and I've also spoken to the department to incorporate legal implications when we are appointing contractors. So as a department we are attending to the issue of quality for work that can be seen on the ground. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Tabete.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to make a follow-up on that regard of the bridge and roads that are affected by the storm. To say the support that the department has given the municipality, they must monitor that to make sure that the municipality are doing what they are expected to do on that budget, because some of the areas we need temporary bridge. As I'm speaking, there's nothing that's happening, and I don't know whether MEC is aware that there's nothing that is happening. We are driving almost 3 hours from Tegwane to Nelspruit, so it's not only that area, but I'm making an example because I'm staying there. So we need the department to come in and assist, because there's a lot of school at Tegwane, and now the little bridge that they've made by the community, there's a lot of criminals in the evening. Thank you very much.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Tabete, for that question. We are aware of the congestion that the collapsing of the bridge have caused on the N4. And as a department, we are saying that in respect of the bypass bridge, designs have already been done and submitted to City of Mbombela in respect of erection. And City of Mbombela was supposed to commence construction of the bridge on the 8th of March, which will be completed by the 26th of March. But as a department, we will ensure that we follow up with the City of Mbombela in respect of the erection of the bypass bridge. It's important to note that we're speaking about the bypass bridge and not the main bridge. Designs in respect of the main bridge have already been submitted for approval. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Stolle.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to find out from the Honorable MEC, you know, in many municipalities, of course, the roads are really problematic, and we think that's a deterrent for the economic potential of our province. But I just want to find out if the money or the budget, will she have, or will the budget in her department cope to fix the roads in our province? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Sitole, for your question as well. I think we must bear in mind that it has been said that it's a disaster. So we are waiting for funds from the National Department to release the funds to us in respect of the disaster. Right now, we do not have the necessary funds, but I can assure you that the Minister within the next 3 months is going to visit our province to make an estimate of the damages across the province that have been affected. And once she makes that estimate, then only can we say what allocation our province has been given.
I will now call upon the Honorable MEC for Education, Honorable Majuba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And greetings to honorable members. The question is from Honorable N.E. Hlope, ANC, to ask the MEC for Education regarding the negative impact on school reopening necessitated by some schools in the province not accessible due to floods, to damages to bridges and roads linking them with nearby communities. How many schools in the province are affected, and what is the department's intervention to help learners access those schools? The response, Honorable Speaker, is 46 schools were adversely affected by the tropical storm Eloise and subsequent rains, as some of the roads leading to the schools became damaged, eroded, and inaccessible. In resolving this challenge, the department employed the following mechanisms. Grade 12 learners were accommodated at neighboring schools. The Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport and the affected local municipalities were consulted to fix the roads, and so far 2 of the roads have been fixed. Utilization of alternative routes. Regarding the extent of the damage to education infrastructure by the heavy rains and storms in the province, which areas, regions, and how many schools have been damaged by the recent rains and storm in the province? Response: 2 schools were damaged by the Eloise storm. However, schooling could continue in both schools as not all classroom blocks were affected. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Hlope, do you have any follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm actually covered the manner in which the Honorable MEC has responded to my questions. Safe to say, I put an emphasis that all those schools who were affected, they must be assisted. Thank you very much.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Sithole.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to find out from the MEC, as the Premier declared the province a state of disaster after the rain, I would also like to find out whether the Department of Education has received any funds from the disaster fund to assist with fixing the schools, and maybe if the MEC has got any time frames or expected time frame to fix the schools. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for the question, Honorable Stoller. As we said that the damages for the schools are not that much, and they are still within our means to can be able to deal with them. And we think that we can be able to deal with the challenges that we are facing without that. Thank you very much.
Is there any follow-up question? I will now call upon the Honorable MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Msibi.
Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me greet you, Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip, members of the Executive Council and all members of the legislature. The question posed by Honorable Mufokeng is that Honorable MEC, we have learned and observed a lot about farm atrocities, including farm killings, farm workers' abuse, farm dwellers harassment by mainly white farmers in our province, right under the watch. And the three questions are: why are you quiet as a department about this inhumane act by the white farmers? Two, are our people not protected by laws of this country, and which law must they use to defend themselves, considering this abuse happens to people who were born, raised, worked on the farms, some far over 50 years. And the last question is, how does the department help those whose livestock has been attached and stolen, graves and houses demolished, and at times denied grazing land in the farms? To respond to the question is that saying killing or murder is a crime in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act in the country. The Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development ensures that its clients are assisted in referring any such act to the South African Police Services for investigations thereafter to the National Prosecution Authority for prosecutions. On farm work abuse, South Africa is one of the countries with the best labor legislations. For example, the Labor Relations Act of 66 of 1995, and abuse of any workers is not allowed in terms of laws of the country. The Department of Employment and Labor is administering those legislations, and they have labor inspectors who frequently visit areas of employment, especially in rural areas. If there are any known incident, they ensure that their clients are assisted in referring such to the Department of Employment and Labor for further investigations. On farm dwellers harassment, the department has a section of TINA reform implementation which is responsible to deal with all farm dwellers harassments and mediate between farm dwellers and property owners. When mediation fails, such matters are referred to litigations through its land rights management facility. Our people not protected by laws of this country, and which law must they use to defend themselves, considering this abuse happens to people who were born, raised, workers, worked on the farms, some for over 50 years. The response is, all people in this country are indiscriminately protected by the Republic of South Africa, Constitution of 1996, and there are specific legislation that regulates the relations of the farm dwellers and property owners, such as the Land Reform or Labor Tenants Act 3 of 1996. This act provides for security of chain of labor tenants and those persons occupying or using land as a result of their association, which labor tenants provide for the acquisition of land and rights in land by labor tenants and provide for matters connected therewith. In terms of the extension of Secretary Act 62 of 1997, this act provides for measures which state assistance to facilitate long-term security of land tenure, regulates the conditions of residence on certain land, regulates the condition on and circumstances under which right of persons to reside on land may be terminated, and regulate the conditions and circumstances under which persons whose right of residence has been terminated may be evicted from land, and provide for matters connected therewith. In relation to how our department helps those whose livestock has been attached and stolen, graven houses demolished, and at times denied grazing land in farms. The stalked and grave desecration is a crime in terms of Criminal Procedure Act, and the Department of DLRD advises its client to report such incident to the South African Police Services for investigation and NPA for prosecution. In cases where livestock is attached, the department investigates whether such was lawful or not. If it was lawful, the department appoints legal practitioners on behalf of the farm dwellers to rescind the impoundment. Where there are cases of demolition of houses, whether lawful or unlawful by the property owners, the department assists farm dwellers with legal representatives to deal with the matter. In instances where grazing land has been reduced or denied, the department investigates the matter, taking into account the grazing capacity land and the number of livestock, and make recommendations thereafter. The department is also assisting those who have submitted their labor tenant applications in the province through the land reform, which is Labor Tenant Act 3 of 1996. The process includes acquiring of land and provision of required infrastructure on the land. By acquiring land for labor tenants and farm dwellers, it will help to reduce the abuse of farm occupiers and dwellers, and also improve their housing challenges in the area and create opportunities for them to own and develop their own land. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mfokeng, do you have a follow-up question?
Ngibonge Speaker, ngibingelele nendlu yala eMpumalanga umkhandlu. Ngiyakujabulela lokhu uMEC akushoyo. Kodwa kwamanje sizomnikeza ithuba ngoba usangena. Ngiyambona ufunda phansi uzuquote nabo section 3 of which like we province abakabi in operation including section 19 and 20. So lokuhlukumezwa kwabantu abamnyama lena emaplazini. Khuluma ngento eyenzakala khona last week eMkhondo kwangema village. Abantu bakithi babulawula izinkomo and lento isixabanisa nabo laba abamhlophe. Kufuna ukuthi Speaker enginawo umbuzo ukuthi sebamnikile ini department njobe eqeda ngena ilist yalabo abantu abamnyama abahlukumezwayo. 2, sebamnikile futhi ini list ukuthi bake bazama ukuthi bakunikeze isinxephezelo abantu bakithi. Ngoba lento akusinto last week, akusinto last year, into lokho eqhubeka mihla nangemihla. Even namhlanje siyawathola ama report ukuthi kunokuhlukumezwa kakhulu abantu abamnyama. Ngibonge somlomo.
Honorable MEC.
No, thanks once more, Honorable Speaker, and thanks, Honorable Mfokeng, on the matters that you have raised. Just to ascertain you, the issue of assigning responsibilities to individual members, the ruling party is aware that we're all trained cadres who can take us today from this point to that point. We hit the ground running. That's the first point I want to address. But the second point is that, as a norm, I got a briefing on all activities of the department because as an assigned individuals incumbent in an office, you immediately run and we've got all those matters. And the advantage that we're having currently is that my predecessor, who was working with the department, is assigned a responsibility to deal with safety matters of the province, which is an added advantage because our view is that we want South Africans in the province to work together to ensure that we bring food on the table and maintain peace and order. These are matters we take note of and will attend to. Thank you very much.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Weber.
You, Honorable Honourable Speaker. Can I request the Honourable Mofokeng to give me also a list of everything that is bothering? We are not, I'm a farmer myself, we are not supporting anything that will create friction between us. We do not support that. I myself, I'm working with it, I'm speaking to the chiefs, and there is an agreement amongst us that we want to root out any problems wherever we can do that. And I would like to have a list that from my side, I will speak to the white people. I will speak to the white people and they will listen. And if they don't want to listen, I will tell them to listen. Because we do not want this friction. Izandla ziyagezana, akufuneki ukuthi sicabane sonke isikhathi, angikufuni ngempela lokho.
Honorable Chief Whip, Honorable Mlombo.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. When I raised my hand, I wanted to indicate that Honorable Weber is not asking a question, but is debating. So I wanted to call him to order because he was supposed to ask a follow-up question to the Honorable MEC, but he comes here and engaged with Honorable Mofokeng. Thank you.
Is there any follow-up question? I have received the apology from Honorable Manzini, and on her behalf, Honorable Shongwe will be standing on her behalf. Honorable Shongwe, over to you. Before Honorable Shongwe, Honorable Stole.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before Honorable Shongwe start, I rise on Rule 37B. As the DA, because it's my question, we received answers from the Office of the Honorable MEC Manzini in writing, and we are happy, we are satisfied with the answers that we received. So, but however, if you rule that Honorable Shongwe can continue, maybe for the benefit of other members who will accept that, we received detailed answers for that question in writing, and we are quite satisfied with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sitole. Will release you, Honorable Shongwe. We'll now call upon the Honorable MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, Honorable Mkachwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings once more, and greetings to the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip and the Deputy Chief Whip, the Leader of Government Business, all members of the Provincial Legislature. Honorable Speaker, I'm here to respond to the question asked by Honorable Weber to ask the Honorable MEC of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. On MEC, as advertised in the 14th of January 2021 Lawfelder newspaper and various other social network pages, the department has asked those in need to apply for a part of what is said to be a 10 million aid. In the advertised criteria for companies to apply, it mentions nothing about the BBBE or BEE status, yet in the application form under point number 8, it mentions that a company's triple BEE status or an affidavit is required to be submitted. The first question is triple BE or BEE a requirement? Should a company require assistance? If so, why is it necessary? The response, the triple BE certificate or SON affidavit will be considered for the purpose of the Mpumalanga Tourism Relief Fund application. The application form requires that either a triple BE certificate or SON affidavit should be submitted with the application. Either of the two will be considered for the purpose of the application for the Mpumalanga Tourism Relief Fund. A SON affidavit can be done at any South African Police Service offices. The assistance is intended at businesses that support and are committed to transformation of the sector. Question 2, if not, why was the triple BE or BE status not mentioned in the advert? Both the triple BE status and the BEE or the SON affidavit are mentioned in the advertised criteria and the application form. As mentioned above, either of the two will be considered for the purpose of the application for the Mpumalanga Tourism Relief Fund. 3, what is the funding model that will be used to compensate tourism companies who are applying for the 10 million aid? Please explain the process from application to payout, and will companies who do not qualify be notified that they will be assisted, and how and why? The response is that the disbursement of funds will only be made to those successful applicants who shall have complied with the requirements as stated in the criteria, and that will be done through following all the government PFMA processes. Once received, the applications will be sorted out in a spreadsheet form in terms of the categories they belong to, e.g. accommodation, tour guides, travel, related services, informal tourism, business, etc. Thereafter, the complete list of applications will then be provided to the Independent Evaluation Committee, comprising of representatives of organized business and civil society, appointed by MTPA. This committee will make recommendations to the Bid Adjudication Committee of the MTPA, which shall have been appointed only for the purpose of the Tourism Relief Fund. The BAC will then submit the final report to the CEO of MTPA for approval purposes. The list of all applications received shall be published for transparency purposes, and thereafter, those applications which shall not have qualified for funding as a result of them not meeting the criteria will not be formally notified. For how many companies are there in Mpumalanga that can apply for the grant, and how many are triple BEE, BEE, and non-affiliated companies are there in Mpumalanga that are able to apply for the grant? The response is that every tourism-related businesses in the province were invited to apply for the Tourism Relief Fund, regardless of color or creed. So as long as they meet the requirement as stated in the advertisement and that their annual turnover does not exceed 10 million. The province does not have a list of the triple BE compliant companies. Tourism enterprises are verified for triple BE compliance by independent triple BE verification professionals accredited by South African National Accreditation System in terms of Section 10(4), subsection 4 of the triple BE Act number 46 of 2013. The Department of Trade and Industry has a triple BE committee responsible for this work. The MTPA relies on the valid certificates issued by National. 5, when looking at the demographics in the Mpumalanga tourism sector, how many people of color stand to lose their employment due to the fact that the companies for which they freelance or work permanently may not get assistance because they might not conform to triple BE or BE requirements? The response is that, as mentioned above in Section 1, the triple BE certificate or SON affidavit will be considered for the purpose of the Mpumalanga Tourism Relief Fund application. The application form requires that either a triple BE certificate or a SON affidavit should be submitted with the application. Either of the two will be considered for the purpose of the application, for the Mpumalanga Tourism Relief Fund. No application will be disqualified on the basis of non-submission of BBBE certificate when there is a sworn affidavit. The number of people who will lose employment on the basis of working for a non-compliant company cannot be quantified at this stage. Thank you.
Honorable Weber, do you have any follow-up question?
Madam Speaker, I want to put a question in connection with the last question. Shouldn't it be necessary that we just apply our minds and make a study of it and see how many people would suffer because they are being excluded, because the companies for which they work do not conform to the requirements? Shouldn't we do that?
Honorable MEC.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The intention of us also putting the submission of an affidavit as a qualification for companies, its purpose is exactly to ensure that there are no companies that are not supported on the basis of non-compliance in terms of the BBBE. Thanks.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? I will now call upon the Honorable MEC for Human Settlement, Honorable Mashilo.
Thank you, Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, honorable members, and our public at large. Honorable PM Lubesi, ANC, has asked the MEC for Human Settlement that the Mpumalanga government is planning to respond to the massive extension of home owners for the purpose of growing productive assets for our people, which will include rentals. Question number 1, can the Honorable MEC share with us about plans to implement the above mentioned? The province is currently, in terms of the response, the province is currently implementing 7 community residential units projects, which will have a total yield of more than 1,036 units over the period of MTEF period. Question 2, which is Roman figure 2, which municipalities are identified to benefit out of this plan? The response is as follows. The province is currently implementing 7 community residential units project, which will have a total yield of more than 1,036 units over the MTF period. These projects are implemented in the following municipalities in the province. Nkomazi local municipality is at Malelane as a CRU project with a total of 200 units. Number 2 is the city of Mbombela, Umjindi CRU project with a total of 200 units. The city of Mbombela again in Sonhevel CRU project with a total yield of 168 units. Tabachweu local municipality Simile CRU with a total of 128 units. In Steve Tshwete local municipality, that is includes the CRU, with a total yield of 176 units. Governing Mbeki local municipality, Umzinoni CRU, with a total yield of 104 units. And the last municipality, Selekwa local municipality, in Standardton Extension 8, with a total yield of 60 units. Question 3. What may be the time frame for the implementing this program, and how many people that are standing to benefit? Indeed, our response is that it will be over a period of the current MTF and is supposed to yield almost 1,036 people in over this period. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi, do you have a follow-up question?
SMMEs are widespread in the province, from urban, rural, and township, offering world-class standards. A number of job opportunities have been created by SMMEs and cooperatives, as tourism offers skilled and unskilled jobs, from cleaners, chefs, bookkeepers, and gardeners. In addition, economic transformation in the province, tourism has improved as more historically disadvantaged individuals participate in tourism. Opportunities are made available for SMMEs through marketing access programs, as well as procuring their services during events that are hosted in the province. Market access opportunities, trade shows, and product training such as World Travel Market Africa, Meetings Africa, Gateway Show, etc. Some of our provincial SMMEs have represented the province on national tourism competitions such as Lilizela Awards. Provincial winners were Kasambo Exclusive Guest House, Vomba Tours, Mbombela Experience. The MTPA make available opportunities that link them with big businesses through Sohosan programs such as Book a Guest House, Entrepreneurship, and Skills Development. MTPA offers financial and non-financial business support. Financial support is offered through market access programs. SMME participate in domestic and international marketing platforms. Non-financial services are support services offered in terms of information provision on how to develop tourism businesses in a sustainable manner, observing compliance issues and qualifying standards as prescribed in tourism as per type of business to be developed, be it a guest house, tour operator, lodge, bed and breakfast, and so on and so on. What is the plan for township and village economy in terms of promoting cultural products and market their places accessible for tourists? And make their places accessible for tourists. Resistance and liberation and heritage routes were developed in 3 districts in the province for promotion by tour operators. Virtual tours will be conducted to further promote these routes. A township tourism plan was developed by the entity together with an implementation plan. Itineraries have been developed together with tour operators to promote township tourism in the 3 districts. Tour operators are encouraged to form packages to be marketed in the MTPA social media platforms. MTPA is working closely with Mbombela District Municipality to develop the Barberton and Ngabogweni precinct. MTPA is continuing to further develop the strategic town of Mgwenya, which will also be packaged to include the element of township tourism. The MTPA has conducted media and travel trade familiarization trips, which included township tours and chiefs and traditional leaders' properties, e.g. Bagangomane Kingdom and the Shabalala Interpretation of Cultural Center. What methodology is the department using to attract young people, women, and people with disability to this sector? Skills development programs and capacity building initiatives have a tremendous impact on job creation in Mpumalanga province, as skills development programs as sponsored by the Department of Tourism in collaboration with the MTPA. The MTPA, after having identified critical skills gap and training needs in the tourism and hospitality industry, training skills programs are implemented to close the gaps. These skills and training needs were identified as one of the difficult to find on the market or to train either through tertiary education institutions or on the job. The skills development programs focuses on skills required to effectively manage two aspects of the industry, that is, accommodation, food and beverage services, and new venture creation. The Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency has implemented the following training programs: hospitality and new venture creation programs 2020-2021 enrolled 500 learners. These skills development programs create an opportunity for both temporary and permanent employment. The program offered opportunities to 426 females and 47 males. Job opportunities for both the youth and women are created through these training programs, as they are experiential learning programs, and learners are required to complete 70% of the course outcomes during workplace or experiential learning, which in turn exposes the learner to the tourism and hospitality industry. The new venture creation program is a program with a purpose to establish and develop a small to medium business venture and address the economic, administrative, and behavioral psychosocial barriers that contribute to success in starting and sustaining the venture. This program has recruited learners that are running small to medium businesses, particularly within the tourism and hospitality industry. Hospitality and the new venture creation programs 2020-21 is currently being implemented with a set target of 10% employment, with over 60% of the learners being women. Despite the fact that the industry is experiencing challenges in the aspect of tourism safety, there is a great potential for its continued contribution to the development and employment creation. The MTPA works closely with the Women in Tourism chapter, which focuses in empowering women in the tourism space. Thank you.
Honorable Mlombo, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let's thank the Honorable MEC for this very elaborate and comprehensive response. It's true that tourism is one of the pillars of the Mpumalanga economy. And we have, in the recent past, Honorable Speaker, seen a number of sectors recovering from COVID-19. So can the Honorable MEC take us into confidence in terms of the response for this sector, the tourism sector, to COVID-19? Is our God's window attracting people? Is it working? It's our Kruger National Park started attracting people. It's our Kraskop Lounge started attracting people, and also our guest houses. Can just the Honorable MEC take the House into confidence with regards to the response of that sector? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And thanks for the follow-up question. And I must indicate, Honorable Speaker, that indeed the tourism sector was hit very hard by COVID-19. And it's one of the sectors that is still struggling to find its feet and rebuild and take its shape and the rightful position within the economy of the province. However, we are happy, Honorable Speaker, with the incentives that have been provided to this sector. They are working very hard. We have had engagements. They are working very hard to make sure that in line with the regulations, they have started to reopen operations, observing all the protocols, of course, of COVID-19. And there is a slightly movement that is happening in all our tourism sites because our people have been eagerly waiting to go and visit these beautiful sites that we have as a province. And we are hopeful that in no time we will be able to reposition that sector back to its rightful position in the economy of the province. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions? Honorable Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable MEC, if it is part of the ANC's manifesto to support cultural tourism, why has tourist attractions like Bochabelo and the infamous cultural hubs been allowed to disintegrate and fail? Honorable MEC, this has nothing to do with the pandemic. It has been failing long before the pandemic. I thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. What we can say, Honorable Speaker, is that indeed in the sector there's been a lot and a number of challenges. One of the key challenges in that sector, Speaker, which we are still grappling with, is that of transformation in that sector. And these challenges, they do affect the sector. Hence, from time to time, there will be challenges which limits the growth and the potential of the sector itself. But we are continuing, and Honorable Speaker, putting systems in place and engaging with all stakeholders. Our intention is to make sure that all these sites are revived, they are rebuilt, to make sure that as a province, we take the benefit out of the full functionality of all these sites. Thanks, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. I will not allow any follow-up questions. The time is up. I will call now upon the MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Msibi.
Again, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much once more for the opportunity. The question as asked by Honorable Tim Makaring. The question is, the ANC-led government is intending to build a more inclusive society through sustainable human settlement that will help to transform the spatial legacy of apartheid. However, farm dwellers are continuously evicted, especially in Covent Bay municipality, and livestock is getting killed and stolen by farm owners. The first question is, the Honorable MEC aware about these atrocities that are taking place in our province? Second one, what is the department intending to do in order to stop this suffering to the people that are staying in farms? The third one is, what may be the rate of arrest for people who are still practicing racism in our province? The last question is, can the Honorable MEC share the vision for the department about small-scale farming and its impact to youth, women, and people with disability? The responses are as follows. Is the Honorable MEC aware about these atrocities that are taking place in the province? Yes, these challenges have been reported to the department. What is the department intending to do in order to stop this suffering to the people that are staying in farms? The Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, together with the provincial department, is working with the constituent offices in the area to deal with cases of eviction in terms of extension of Security of Tenure Act 62 of 1997. We've been engaging with landowners where the compliance with ESTA is being ignored. Section 4 of the Act provides for the security of land for the farm dwellers. However, this Act has limitations as the purchase of land parcels to accommodate farm dwellers is applied only where there are farms available on conditions and circumstances under which the right of persons to reside on land may be terminated, and regulate the conditions and circumstances under which persons whose right of residence has been terminated and may be evicted from land, and provide for matters connected therewith. How does then the department help those whose livestock has been attached and stolen, graves and household demolished, and at times denied grazing land in the farms? You'll acknowledge, Honourable Speaker, that this question is similar to the first question raised by Honourable Mufoken. The response is, stock theft and grave desecration is a crime in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, and the department advises its client to report such incident to SAPS for investigation and NPA for prosecutions. In cases where livestock is attached, the department investigates whether such was lawful or not. If it was lawful, it appoints legal practitioners on behalf of the farm dwellers to rescind the impoundment. Where there are cases of demolition of houses, whether lawful or unlawful, by the property owners, the department assists farm dwellers with legal reps to deal with the matter. In instances where grazing land has been refused or denied, the department investigates the matter, taking into account the grazing capacity land and the number of livestock, and make recommendations thereafter. The department is also assisting those who have submitted their labor tenant application in the province through the land reform, which is Labor Tenant Act 3 of 1996. The process includes acquiring of land and provision of required infrastructure on the land. By acquiring land for labor tenants and farm dwellers, it will help to reduce the abuse of farm occupiers and dwellers, and also improve their housing challenges in the area and create opportunities for them to own their developed own lands. The willing seller, willing buyer basis. When the land is available, the department makes funds available. Engagements are going on the re-establishment of the Land Rights Management Committee, and when the Est Amendment comes into effect, the LRMC is where the department will have monthly meetings with key stakeholders such as landowners unions, housing department, local municipalities, local SAPS offices, local NGOs, labor department offices, social department offices, and any other stakeholders that will monitor the eviction-related issues. The LRMC will also contribute in dealing with farm-related abuse in all areas in the province. The department is also assisting those who have submitted their Labor Tenant Act applications through the Land Reform Act 3 of 96. The process includes acquiring of land, provision of required infrastructure on the land. By acquiring the land of labor tenants and farm dwellers, it will help to reduce the abuse of farm occupiers and dwellers, and also improve their housing challenges in the area and create opportunities for them to own and develop their own lands. Where there are land rights violations, the department also assists the farm dwellers or labor tenants with legal reps through the Land Rights Management Facility. What may be the rate of arrest for people who are still practicing racism in the province? The response is, the department is not aware of any arrest at the moment. However, the department always advises farm dwellers to report such cases to the SAPS, as a racial assault is a criminal offense and should be dealt with as such. The department endeavors to ensure that clients who encounter such incidents are thoroughly assisted in reporting them as and when they happen. Can the Honourable MEC share the vision for the department about small-scale farming, its impact to the youth, women, and people with disabilities? The response is, the department's vision is to give support to youth, women, and people with disabilities. The smallholders at the small-scale level, the youth, women, and people with disabilities are amongst those that are supported with tangible and non-tangible support, such as production inputs, mechanization, extension advice, and infrastructure. The Department of Agricultural Development and Land Reform and Land Environmental Affairs has, as its part of guiding principle in its MTSF and APP documentation, committed itself to respond to the following cross-cutting priorities: youth empowerment, gender equality, fourth industrial revolution, and environment sustainability, including climate change. To that effect, the department has developed targeted programs for the youth, women, and people with disabilities. The programs include the Young Farmer Incubation Program, Fortune 40, Youth in Agriculture and Rural Development, and Women in Agriculture and Rural Development, which facilitates and coordinates agricultural support to youth and women. In addition, both provincial and national departments under the Female Entrepreneur Awards recognize the outstanding performance of the female in the agriculture by awarding them with outstanding performance certificates, trophies, and monetary support. This is done on the annual basis. Further to that, the department has ensured that in most of its key indicators in the department annual performance plans, there are targets towards these target groups, and as such, progress and performance is therefore reported on a quarterly basis. The department has made an impact on the small-scale farmers as there is food security and are able to supply their produce to markets, which improves their livelihoods. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringe, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also thank the MEC for responding to all the questions. I want to check if the MEC is aware that the Mkhuhlo Agri-Hub in Bushbuckridge is in operation, and the very same small-scale farmers, which are youth, women, and people with disability, are not getting market from that Agri-Hub, which disadvantaged them in terms of the opportunity that they were supposed to be getting. Thanks.
Honorable MEC.
Thanks once more, Honorable Speaker, and thanks, Honorable Makaring, for the question. We are indeed aware of the challenges in the Mkhuhlo Agri-Hub, and it's a matter which we are attending to, and we'll report back to this August House on the progress made. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable ABC, on question 2 that is raised by Honorable Makaringe, which reads, what is the department intending to do in order to stop this suffering to the people that are staying in farms? Is Honorable MEC aware that in Vakastrom, Dr. Pixley Isakaseme, the white farmer, he is the farmer, he beats the people, he is the beater, and when the community goes to the police station, he is the police person. So, MEC, I heard you talking about the laws and whatever that protects the community. In such an instance, will those people who are beaten by the farmer, who happens to be the police person, get a fair trial? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyembe. The questions are more similar. I said in the first response raised by Honorable Mofokeng, I said we're also going to exploit the opportunity that the MEC for community safety in the province has been an MEC for the department and understand extensively the challenges facing by our people in farm areas, including ourselves. But now, the question that we're asking is that are these complainants going to get a fair trial? I'm not in a position to respond because I'm not working in the justice system. but in terms of reporting and dealing with the atrocities, together with the Department of Safety and Security, we'll ensure that people who are committing such things are brought into book. But thanks very much for bringing this into attention, and we'll attend to the matter.
Is there any follow-up question, Honorable Weber?
Honourable Speaker, this question is almost a repetition of a question that I asked before. Can I also have a list of these cases that I can also go into this? This question was misunderstood by the Honourable Chief Whip in the past. Thank you.
Honorable Weber, you were supposed to deal with the follow-up question, but I think this matter, you can raise it in your committee meetings and be assisted there. Can I move to the next one? The Honorable MEC for Human Settlement, Honorable Mashilo.
Thanks, the Honorable Speaker. The question came from Honorable N.G. Nyembe, EFF, to ask MEC Human Settlement. The Honorable MEC, a lot of RDP houses are of a poor standard that most of them have cracked and some collapse, posing danger to the beneficiaries. A lot of houses in most of our township are yet to have their asbestos roofing replaced years after it was declared a health hazard due to the disease related with asbestos and the times danger of breaking when there are hailstorms. Therefore, we ask the question as follows. According to the department assessment, how many RDP houses are you going to rebuild, reconstruct, and how many asbestos roofed houses are you going to replace? Our responder as follows. With regard to rebuilding, reconstruct of poorly constructed RDP houses, the department has put measures to ensure that houses are quality assured throughout their construction phases, and that a quality product is handed over to the beneficiary at the completion. In conjunction with the National Home Builders Registration Council, NHBRC, the houses are enrolled to provide building warranty, covers the beneficiary over the warranty period for defect work such as roof leaks and major structural defects. With regard to asbestos roofed houses, the department is fully aware of the health hazard resulting from the exposure to asbestos cement fibre. At this point, the department has not conducted an audit on houses roofed with asbestos and therefore cannot qualify the extent of the problem. Notwithstanding, preliminary figures received from the two local municipalities indicated that 3,643 houses are asbestos. The greatest challenge with such an exercise is the funding and policy guidelines framework. To that effect, the National Department of Human Settlement is currently developing a policy document to assist the process on a nationwide scale. Question 2, Roman figure 2. Why are there still houses with asbestos roof in Kanyamazan long after disaster, which saw some houses' roof replaced? Our response is as follows. To date, department has repaired 2,433 houses in Kanyamazan, Tekwani South, and in Togozweni, which were affected by the hail disaster of May 2018. The project was not meant to address asbestos-roofed houses, but rather the project was meant to address the hailstorm damage caused by the storm occurred on the date I have already mentioned. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honorable Nyambe, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable MEC, if I may put it this way, the RDPs that are built here in Mpumalanga and around the three regions, if you take the RDP that was made or was built by the apartheid government and compare to the RDP that has been built 26 years ago by the ANC government, you will see what I'm talking about. And if you are real, you know what I'm talking about. Stating laws, that there is laws of housing and there's a certificate that has been signed. In reality, you are a human being. You know what I'm talking about. So, what is the government going to do with those structural defects and those houses that they look like they are 50 years old and some of them are less than 10 years? What is the government going to do with it? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you. Well, Honorable, you can't compare apartheid and the democratical dispensation. Something is indeed absolutely not correct. However, let's deal with the matter. Well, you are not an apartheid. Honorable Sitola, DA is not apartheid. But let's deal with the matter question asked. I was just clarifying the context of the matter. The defects of the house which are constructed by our own people, the same human being we're referring to, brothers and sisters, with the same quantum, whether used by apartheid or the current, same quantum. That's why the establishment of the NRBC to monitor and as well ensure those defect houses so that any defects can be corrected within those people, those that have done those construction. So there is no loss to government to build houses twice. So that's why we spoke about this insurance, and the NHBRC is meant for exactly that, to respond. That can happen to any houses built independently. It does happen all the time. Hence the comparisons of apartheid and now, it is indeed misplaced. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Mkhabela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable MEC, I'm sure you'll agree with me that we have a lot of houses in our community that have been neglected by the members or the people who applied for them. And before we rebuild and reconstruct, what is the plan, what is the department going to do about those kind of houses? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Well, that's what the EFF must do exactly. Well, the reality is that we do have such houses across the province. We have asked municipalities to give us those houses so that we compare with the list that department have so that we can deregister those individuals and give it to those who require houses that are on the list in terms of the priority. Thank you.
Any follow-up question? I will now call upon the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Honorable Shiba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question is from Honorable TMJ Rovemogen from DA to ask MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Honorable MEC, the continuous water cuts and lacking basic services in Victor Kanye and Governor Begi municipalities have infuriated the residents of these two municipalities. The residents of Victor Kanye in turn submitted a petition to your office regarding placing the municipality under administration. Given the above, will the MEC answer the following questions? Roman figure 1, are you willing to place Victor Kanye local municipality under administration? If yes, by when will you be placing this municipality under administration? The response is as follows. At this stage, the department will not be placing the Victor Kanye local municipality under administration. The department, together with Provincial Treasury, will provide support in terms of Section 154, subsection 1 and 155, subsection 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, read with Section 105 of the Local Government Municipal Systems Act. Roman figure 2, if not, why are you reluctant to do so? The response is as follows. Before considering placing any municipality under administration, the department and all stakeholders, such as Provincial Treasury, the district and SALGA, needs to first provide support to the municipality. Through the integrated municipal support, both Provincial Treasury, COGTA, and the district are providing support to the municipality. Roman figure 3, what are the finances of this municipality in terms of the liquidity ratio, the amount of creditors, debtors, debt repayment time, and cash at hand at the end of the year? It is viable to place this municipality under administration. The response is as follows, Deputy Speaker. The liquidity ratio of the municipality indicates that the municipality is unable to honor their financial obligations as their current liabilities exceed their current revenue. The current ratio on current assets and current liabilities as at 30th of June 2020 is 0.3, which is below the norm of 1.5 to 2.1. The cash cost coverage ratio as at 30th June 2020 is 0 and indicates that the municipality is unable to cover the operational costs with the cash on hand on a monthly basis, as the norm is 1 to 3 months. The total debtors of the municipality amounted to 719,181,000 as at 30th December 2020. The total creditors of the municipality amounted to 539,504,000 as at the 31st of December 2020. The municipality has not entered into a debt repayment agreement with the two major creditors, who are Eskom and Randwater. The previous signed debt repayment agreement with the above-mentioned creditors was not honored by the municipality. However, the municipality is currently finalizing the new debt repayment plan to be entered into with the said creditors. Roman figure 4. Recently, both Governor Mbeki and Victor Kanye municipality experienced 50% water trolling over the non-payment of the debt to Rand Water. Has your department intervened in the issue? If yes, what has your department done? The response is as follows. Indeed, both Governor Mbeki and Victor Kanye municipalities have been affected by water restrictions as implemented by Rand Water through the reduction of water pressures in all entry points. According to Rand Water, Governor Mbeki municipality owes 313,875,601.64 with a current account of about 29.6 million, while Victor Kanye municipality owes 184,884,869.50 with a current account of about 8 million. Upon the department becoming aware of the first restriction of 20%, which took effect on the 9th of November 2020, the department immediately convened a meeting between the municipalities, Rand Water, and Department of Water and Sanitation to address the matter. This intervention resulted in the establishment of a revenue enhancement task team to assist municipalities not only to look at Rand Water debt, but also ESCOM debt and those with other creditors. Madam Speaker, these municipalities were encouraged to pay their accounts and also address, in particular, their current account without fail. It should be noted that Rand Water continued with the restrictions and increased them with an additional 20% in both municipalities. Follow-up meetings were held in January 2021, where Governor Mbeki raised its frustration with Rand Water in addressing the debt issue. The department supported the municipality is taking the matter on the restrictions through court processes where the judgment was in favor of the municipality after unsuccessful attempts by the municipality to meet up with the chairperson of the Rand Water Board. The judgment directed Rand Water to lift all water restrictions in Governor Mbeki municipality. Processes of addressing a repayment plan between Rand Water and Governor Mbeki municipality are underway. The department is also coordinating Victor Kanye municipality and Rand Water to agree on a repayment plan. On the 18th of February 2021, the department convened a meeting with Rand Water and Victor Kanye, where Rand Water indicated that summons have been issued to the municipality as a consequence of defaulting on payment. However, the department requested Rand Water to allow space between COGTA and the municipality to find ways of addressing the Rand Water debt. It was also agreed that the municipality should resuscitate its committee meetings regarding the implementation of the revenue enhancement strategy, where Rand Water shall participate. Last question is, how are you as MEC going to turn around the finances of all of our municipalities in the province? The response is as follows. Provincial Treasury has come up with initiatives to turn around the finances in municipalities in the province, namely assessing annual budget of municipalities and providing recommendations to ensure that those budgets are funded. Supported municipality, including Victor Kanye, with a project to reconcile the valuation roll to the billing system with the aim to increase the revenue baseline. Provincial Treasury is monitoring implementation financial recovery plan in 5 municipalities in the province. PT which is Provincial Treasury, is assisting the municipalities with the revenue enhancement, integrated approach to revenue, and form part of the Revenue Management Steering Committee. Provincial Treasury is supporting the municipality to recover debt owed by government departments. Provincial Treasury, in collaboration with SALGA and COGTA, is assisting municipalities to develop affordable debt repayment plans for debt owed to major creditors such as ESCOM and water boards. Provincial Treasury coordinated training sessions between municipalities, ESCOM and NERSA to assist and improve the municipalities' applications for electricity tariff increases. Municipalities are supported with the new and improvement of the control environment over revenue management, expenditure management, supply chain management, contract management, and asset management. COGTA and Provincial Treasury will also assist municipalities to also strengthen their debt collection to ensure that all monies owed to them are collected. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Morgan, do you have a follow-up question? Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? I will now call upon the MEC for Education, Honorable Machuba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to honorable members. The question is from Honorable BM Lubisi from the ANC to ask the MEC for Education. With the school reopening readiness by the Department of Education, can the MEC indicate in details the following? How far is the department coping with COVID-19 protocols to all schools in the province? Response: the department has provided COVID-19 essentials to all schools. All principals were appointed as compliance officers and teams were established in each school to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. The department conducted training for school management teams, education assistants, in order to ensure that compliance to COVID-19 regulations is maintained. The appointment of additional educator assistants and general support assistants ensure that every person entering the building is wearing masks properly, social distancing is maintained at all times, and everyone entering the building is screened for symptoms, his temperature taken and recorded on the register. The only challenge that remains is funding for COVID-19 essentials, which puts the department under serious financial constraints. How far is the department with the delivery of learner material in schools? Response: the stationery was delivered to all schools by the 30th of November 2020. Textbooks for new schools and schools adding new grades and subjects were also sorry, a bit, Honorable Speaker. How far is the department dealing with the issue of learner placement to schools? Response: in ensuring that the children enjoy their constitutional right to learn, the department has employed the following response strategies: appointment of district and circuit admission committees to administer learner placement, procurement and relocation of mobile classes, which is ongoing until 31st March 2021, placing learners in schools that have underutilized facilities or low enrollment, introducing English medium classes where they are much needed, employing differentiated timetabling share the available facilities, learning and teaching resources, provision of additional resources to needy and deserving schools used on 10 days savvy after school reopening. Regarding the challenge of school dropout, precipitated by COVID-19, that is the department's strategy to deal with this challenge. Response: learners opt to leave school early to different reasons, and given the COVID-19 pandemic, an increase in this regard occurred. The department is continuously employing a plethora of strategies to curb such, which amongst others include the following: providing COVID-19 hygiene resources and essentials, providing nutritious meals needy learners through the National School Nutrition Program, providing scholar transport deserving and needy learners, keeping needy learners from farms in broad schools, allowing parents to opt for homeschooling, improving the conditions, infrastructure maintenance, provisioning of water and adequate sanitation in schools, ensuring compliance to health and safety protocols in schools, providing psychosocial support to learners, progressing learners, not allowing them to repeat more than once in a phase, who cannot be promoted to the next grade, and continue providing relevant support in the gaps, implementing curriculum recovery program, and help learners to cope and achieve with intended outcomes, offering learners second chances to repeat grade and provide the necessary support. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Lubisi, do you have a follow-up question? Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? That brings us to the end of the question time. Questions that have not been responded to will stand over to the next question time. We shall now proceed with the other business of the order paper. The Secretary shall read the second order of the day.
Order number 2, reports of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 2.1, unannounced oversight visits conducted at Makopanong Water Reservoir, Zunza Mapogo Traditional Council, Delmas Bulk Water Infrastructure and Empumelelweni Water Reservoir, Dr. J.S. Moroka, Victor Kanye, and Emalahleni Local Municipalities, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 2.2, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Balfour Water Treatment Works, Dipaliseng Municipality, Volcrust Wastewater Treatment Works, Dr. Pixliga Isaka Seme Municipality, and Silobela Water Treatment Works, Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipality, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 2.3, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Nkomazi Local Municipality on the 1st of December 2020, Department of Human Settlements. 2.4, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Empumelelweni and Emalahleni Local Municipality, Department of Human Settlements. 2.5, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Dipaliseng, Dr. Pixliga Isaka Seme and Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipalities, Department of Human Settlements. 2.6, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Nkomazi Local Municipality, Department of Human Settlements.
I now call upon the Chairperson of Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Honorable G.C. Shabalala, to table these reports.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Nisuguma nokubeka ngaphambili onke ma report lafunziwe nokuthi indlu iwavume. Ngiyabonga.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt these reports as tabled by Honorable Shabalala. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the third order of the day.
Order number 3, reports of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. 3.1, oversight visits to projects of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Tembisi Lehani Local Municipality on the 29th of October 2020. 3.2, oversight visits to projects of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Bushbuck Ridge Local Municipality on the 25th of November 2020. 3.3, oversight visits to projects of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Nkomazi Local Municipality on the 19th to 20 November 2020. 3.4, oversight visits to projects of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Mkondo Local Municipality on the 28th of October 2020. 3.5, second quarter performance report, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, 2020-2021 financial year.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable B.M. Lubisi, to table these reports.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I herein table the aforesaid reports for adoption by the House.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt these reports as tabled by Honorable Lubisi. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the fourth order of the day.
Order number 4, reports of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 4.1, oversight visit held at Mkondo Local Municipality on the rehabilitation of road D2486 from N2 to Clipwall and Mkondo Boarding School on Wednesday, the 28th of October 2020, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 4.2, oversight visit held at Tembisilehani Local Municipality on the rehabilitation of road P95/1 from Gauteng border to Verena Crossing on Thursday, the 3rd of December 2020, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 4.3, oversight visit held at Nkomazi Local Municipality on the rehabilitation of road D2950 between Mtata through Mananga, held on Tuesday, the 1st of December 2020, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 4.4, oversight visit held at Bushbuck Ridge Local Municipality at Mapulaneng New Hospital on Wednesday, the 25th of November 2020, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 4.5, oversight visit held at Tembisilehani Local Municipality in Gangala District on the 29th of October 2020 to Fontaine Police Station, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 4.6, oversight visit held at Mkondo Local Municipality in Garsibande District on the 28th of October 2020, Piet Retief Police Station, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 4.7, oversight visit held at Nkomazi Local Municipality in Ehlanzeni District on the 20th of November 2020, Mbuzini Police Station, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 4.8, oversight visit held at Tembisilehani Local Municipality in Kangala District on the 3rd of December 2020, Gwamhlanga Police Station, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. 4.9, oversight visit held at Bushbuck Ridge Local Municipality in Ehlanzeni District on the 25th of November 2020, Bushbuck Ridge Police Station, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison.
I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honorable Anne Mahlangu, to table these reports.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the Portfolio Committee for this August House to approve the reports as presented. I thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the reports as tabled by Honorable Mahlangu. Agreed to? As so agreed. That concludes the business of the day. You are all requested to remain standing at your places until the procession has left the chamber. The House is now adjourned until the 16th of March 2021 at 2:15 in this very same chamber.